Comedy Film Nerds Podcast.
So you saw The Red Turtle.
I did. I saw The Red Turtle, and this was a movie I've been wanting to see ever since I saw it got nominated for an Academy Award. And it's a really interesting movie. It's one of those movies that I remember when I was in college, whenever animation would come to town, like in Philadelphia, it would always only go to the art houses. And this is the type of movie, this is an art house movie, where the feel of the movie just feels like you would just go to one of those art houses where, you know, it's a tiny little theater that's run down.
Yeah.
It's always dark, so you can't see what's on the floor or on the chairs because
don't want to
everything
see
is
what's on there.
in horribly...
Vaguely smells like weed.
Yeah, yeah. And you would watch, like, the animation movies that would come through, like, you know, the weird experimental stuff. And that's what really, this gave me that feel at home, like I was in, like, an art house theater watching an animated film. It's very French. It was a... co-production with Studio Ghibli in Japan, but it doesn't feel like a Studio Ghibli film. It really feels like a French film for sure.
It's the first time ever that Studio Ghibli did a non-Japanese.
They sure did. Yeah, this is one of their. It might be their only co-production.
Yeah.
So it really had an interesting feel to it. There's no dialogue in the entire film. So it's very slow moving. It's beautiful to look at, and not a lot happens, but everything that happens means something. It's, you know, animation is allegory throughout the entire thing. Like when people say, "Oh, animated movies are just, you know, that's just for kids." This is the kind of movie that is not. And in fact, my kids were completely bored by it. They
Is
were
it like Triplets of Belleville kind of feel?
So it did feel a little bit like that, yeah. But much slower.
Okay.
And because you have basically, it's a castaway on an island. He's alone. Mm-hmm. He tries to build a raft. Every time he builds a raft, a turtle breaks it, and then he has to go back to the island. So, and that's kind of the setup of the movie. But everything means something else. It really means about man's connection to nature. Like, it's interesting, even though it feels French, there are some, like, Japanese themes in there, like the way everything has a spirit and how we're connected to the animals and the earth and the plants and the trees and everything. These are some mild spoilers, but you can see these from the trailer too. Then the turtle is magical, turns into a woman. Then they kind of spend their time on the island together. They have a kid, and what it really goes through is the themes of living with nature, living as a family, getting what you need out of your life, and then also moving on certain parts of your life. So all of these themes happen with no dialogue, with a movie about, you know, a castaway and a red turtle. So the fact that these things were accomplished thematically with what you're watching was definitely really interesting and fun to watch. The backgrounds were more detailed than the actual characters, which also gave it a real, almost like ethereal look. Like the backgrounds had all this detail, like the forest and the waves and the trees, like, because the characters actually were still expressive but not as detailed. So it was like there were interesting artistic choices made on the designs, which were really interesting.
That was the aspect of it that made it look like a Studio Ghibli film for me. Just from watching the trailer, I was like, oh, that looks the way the Studio Ghibli, the layers and the details and the depth of the frame and everything makes that's what makes them stand out so much differently than just about any other animation that's out there.
And I'm wondering, too, there were 6 animators from Studio Ghibli who worked in the film. I wonder if they all worked in background. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. And it's the kind of movie, too, do I think it should have won Best Picture for animation? No, I still think Kubo should have won. But it would deserve to be nominated, and it deserves to be seen. Like I said, it was playing in L.A. in one theater. Like, it was really difficult to find.
Is it better than Zootopia? Which one?
So they're very different. They're very different movies. Whereas Zootopia is a family film, everyone can kind of enjoy it. This one is real, just a slow-paced animated poem for an allegory about life and nature. So
how long is it?
It's less than 90 minutes. I think it's like Aaron, can you look that up? I think it's like 80 some minutes.
It's something I would think I would be really interested in seeing. It seems like sounds like it's really trippy.
It's very trippy, and it's one of those movies too.
Actually,
that
80 minutes.
80 minutes. And it's one of those movies too that you just kind of you're supposed to kind of drift in and out of it because it's like this fable and fairy tale, and like just the way the backgrounds and the characters just kind of come together and just kind of flow. So it's definitely worth a watch. It's worth now is the time to see it. It's available on demand. It's only a couple bucks. It's cheaper than the other on demand movies for whatever reason. But it's definitely worth your time. So check it out. The Red Turtle.
I shot first, kitten